In the headlines, Dominicans told to accommodate their less fortunate neighbors as Hurricane Beryl heads our way. No breakthrough yet as police search for 2 suspects in a deadly shooting on Wednesday. And Venezuela reassures Dominica that its Miracle Eye Care program will soon get back on track. I am Andrea Louis with the Channel 5 News, back with the details after this. Thank you for staying with us. First up, 112 emergency shelters have been announced as authorities prepare for Hurricane Beryl. Hurricane Beryl is approaching the Lesser Antilles and is forecast to cross the island chain by Sunday afternoon into Monday. The island will experience inclement weather by Saturday night. Cabinet convened a meeting on Friday with the disaster officials in attendance. Deputy Prime Minister Reginald Austri has advised the public to find safe shelter.
We are seeking the cooperation of all Dominicans to adequately prepare for this system and to find safe shelter. Avoid being in areas which are deemed to be unsafe, like close to waterways and areas prone to landslides. We are aware of the high anxiety level, given that less than 1 year ago, this country was significantly devastated by Hurricane Maria. Shelters were compromised, which means that there will be less shelters available. And given the anxiety level, more people may seek shelter.
Austria advised that those who have enough space and are able to should take in their vulnerable neighbors.
Fellow Dominicans, this is where we all have to play our part. The Shelter Subcommittee and the ODM have been advocating a neighborly approach to sheltering this hurricane season, which means if you have a structurally sound building, that you may take in your neighbor for safekeeping during the passage of the hurricane. It is advisable, therefore, that people who are seeking shelter move with the bare necessities, but should carry adequate food and water supply for up to 3 days. A preliminary shelter list has been in circulation for the past weeks, so it is your responsibility to know where your shelters are.
In other top stories, Venezuela's ambassador to Dominica has promised that his country's social programs will resume here soon. The Miracle Eye Care mission, Mission Milagro, which started in December 2016, had to put a halt to its operations when Hurricane Maria struck. Ambassador Hayden Pereira says some kinks are being ironed out and the patients of this program can look forward to its resumption soon.
It's coming soon.
Okay.
It's coming soon. I promise you. Not you. I promise the Dominican people that it's coming soon.
What are some of the problems in bringing it back?
The problem about the Mission Milagro is the transportation. Now we have the plate, we are repairing, but soon they come. Okay?
By July?
It's coming soon.
As regards the Petro Casas, which came to Dominica after Tropical Storm Erica in 2015, Pereira says material for these houses will be brought into Dominica before long.
The Petro Casa is the same problem. When Venezuela saw some economic situation, we are going to get the resources for continue the Petro Casa, because the Hurricane Maria destroyed total all the Petro Casa. Okay?
So the material will be stronger this year?
Yes.
Okay.
Sure.
Do you know when we are getting the material?
When we get the material, I call you, I inform you.
Pereira also took the opportunity to dismiss as fake news speculation circulating last month that Petróleos de Venezuela South America, PDVSA, would cut petroleum deliveries to Dominica and other ALBA countries in the Caribbean.
The ALBA country is waiting that Venezuela can pass another level about the political situation. When we saw that, the support to Dominica about supply is going to continue. I am sure the Dominican people can be sure that Venezuela is going to comply our commitment. I know that we have a difficult problem, but every country has problems.
In other developments, 13th August has been given as the completion date for the Dominica State College roofing project being undertaken by the Cuban engineers. Following Hurricane Maria, 19 of the campus's 21 buildings were damaged. Part of Phase 1 of the State College's roofing project is taking place on 6 buildings on the lower campus. Cuba's ambassador to Dominica, His Excellency Juan Carlos Frometa de la Rosa, says the Cuban team of engineers is working to meet 2 deadlines for this project.
They are working now in 4th building. The idea is to finish this 4th building July 26.
Okay.
The other 2, because in total they have to repair 6, but they are working now in 4. The other two buildings they will finish around August 13 in commemoration of Fidel Castro's birthday.
Nice.
So that's the idea that we have. We will see, because sometimes the weather is not good, but that's the idea, to finish the 4th building July 26 and the other 2 August 13.
According to De La Rosa, another group of engineers will start working on house repairs in the community of Good Hope this week. The ambassador says when the State College project is complete, the engineers will then be deployed to other areas to help with house repairs.
So we have 80 Cuban contractors working in Dominica. The main group is repairing the State College. So if you can see in the coming days, so the State College we have new roof. And this week another team start to work in Good Hope, repairing houses in the community. So as soon as they finish at the State College, we are going to move all Cuban contractors to the community in order to continue repairing houses in Dominica.
So after Good Hope, do you know where you're going to? Which community?
Not yet, but we are coordinated with the government in what place, so they want to put our contractors.
De La Rosa says the governments of Cuba and Dominica share a mutually beneficial friendship which will continue into the future.
Yesterday, the Prime Minister Kerry met our President Díaz-Canel in Cuba, and both countries, PM Kerry thanks the Cuban support, and the Cuban President said that Cuba will continue helping Dominica. We are brother and sister island. We are friends. We are living in the same sea, Caribbean Sea. So this is the way that we have to work. So we share that we have. We don't have money. We don't have God. We don't have oil. We have human resources. That's something that Cuba provides to Dominica.
The Dominica Hotel and Tourism Association is advising tourism authorities to look at the bigger picture where the availability of accommodation is concerned for the tourist season. Facing a room shortage in the city due to Hurricane Maria, the Discover Dominica Authority is exploring accommodation options available in Portsmouth to address the influx of visitors during the Independence season. The DHTA's position is that a greater effort is to be made outside of this season to address the room shortage.
I think it's a bandit on a bigger issue. I think now, leading up to World Creole Music Festival, which is around the corner, I think working with the properties in Picard and the yachting industry, for instance, like he mentioned, will definitely help ease the accommodation issue. But that's just for a season, right? What happens after the season? What happens between October of 2018 and April of 2019?
The cruise season runs from October to April. 40 accommodation properties are operating with limited capacity. Harmony Villa is scheduled to reopen mid-July. Secret Bay Hotel has planned for 1st November and Citrus Creek Plantation, December 2018.
How it comes off is that, okay, well, we will work on these, instead of the hoteliers who are here, right? They've stayed here, they've been in the industry, they've made the commitment that they're not leaving. I mean, if I have a hotel or a restaurant or a business that deals in the tourism industry, if I have that and I agreed to myself that I'm not leaving, I mean, a member made a comment today, they deserve a gold star. You know, because right now the climate is one that's conducive for people to just run. You know, let me just take my insurance money and go. You know, and just not worry about it. But that doesn't solve the problem. You know, that creates a bigger problem. And I would like the minister to understand that. And he does in some way. He was at our session today. He did speak to some of these issues. And once again, he did challenge the industry to come forth with these recommendations and solid ways to actually get it done. But I think what we really need is the dialogue, you know, the open dialogue, you know, so that we can actually figure it out together.
Coming up in the Channel 5 News, suspects in Wednesday's shooting still on the run.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, galvanized and fence pipe. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Welcome back. 3 days after a deadly shooting in Newtown left one 27-year-old man dead, the police continues to appeal to the public to help with any information which could lead to the capture of the two suspects. Kerry George was killed Wednesday morning when he was shot twice while standing near a bus along the Newtown Highway. Police believe the two suspects who were riding a scooter headed south after the pillion rider shot George twice. George later died in a hospital from bullet wounds to his right thigh and waist. If you have information that can assist the police in their investigations, please call 911. 15 females can now call themselves phlebotomists as they are certified in the practice of drawing blood from patients.
They received their certificates at a graduation ceremony on Friday, having been trained at the New Age Wellness Center. This is the second graduation of its kind through training by the center run by Dr. Peter Ducre.
Phlebotomy is the most common invasive medical procedure in the healthcare field. It is much more common than putting a Foley catheter, which I've done many times, an IV line, or lumbar puncture. That is why this course is so very extremely important. Let's look at the story of an obese patient we had at weighing over 300 pounds, we had at PMH. Doctors, nurses had extreme difficulty in drawing the blood for analysis. It was important to draw that blood for analysis because this patient had all of a sudden become lethargic and no one knew what was the problem. An experienced medical technologist at the lab with lots of experience in phlebotomy was called, and the blood was drawn easily, and when the lab result came back, the potassium level was nearing a critical level, and this would have been fatal. So this shows you why phlebotomy is important, knowing how to draw the blood.
Dr. Ducre told his graduates that job opportunities are already available for them.
My advice to you graduates is to go and sign up soon for the international certification exam with the ASCP. I think Ms. Blanchard and her cousin is signing up as we speak for the exam. Okay, to become an internationally certified phlebotomist. There is opportunity for all graduates. Some graduates can work part-time with me at the center. Some persons will be hired. And others can find jobs locally, regionally, and internationally. Mrs. LaVille, who is the proprietor of the Quality Diagnostics, is a major contributor to this program. Each student spends a day in her lab at the Hallsborough Medical Center. Mrs. LaVille is also an exceptional person, and I have known her for many years, even when I was working at the hospital.
Tahira Blanchard got the award for Most Outstanding Student. She, along with Alina Mills, received the Most Industrial Student Award.
Jamaica's Prime Minister and Chairman of CARICOM, Andrew Holness, says he is confident that the Caribbean Court of Justice, under the leadership of new President Honorable Justice Adrian Saunders, will continue to guard the rights of the Caribbean people.
Mr. Holness was speaking at the swearing-in ceremony for Justice Saunders this week. Holness said he was fully confident that, based on his commendable professional experience and personal attributes, the new CCJ president would discharge his functions in this new role with distinction and integrity. Meantime, Secretary General of the Caribbean Community, CARICOM, Ambassador Erwin LaRocque, said the appointment represents a milestone in our judicial history and sends a positive message to all about the standards of our legal education institutions. Ambassador LaRocque said this court has proven its worth, and he was looking forward to the day when all its members sign on to the appellate jurisdiction. President Saunders said he considered himself fortunate. He noted that he had been preceded in that office by two outstanding Caribbean jurists, and he was privileged to have enjoyed a close collegial relationship with them, Justice Michael de la Bastide and Sir Dennis Byron. He said both men had contributed to the solid platform on which the court now rests.
And the country which the newly sworn-in president of the Caribbean Court of Justice calls home has up till now not signed on to the CCJ as its final court of appeal. In this news clip from Jamaica's TVJ, the Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Ralph Gonsalves, expresses regret that his country has not signed on to the CCJ as its final court of appeal. The CCJ's new president is a national of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The Vincentian Prime Minister spoke on the issue while in Jamaica for the 39th CARICOM Heads meeting, which was due to end on Friday.
It is a matter of great regret that the country from which he hails, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, is not as yet a member of the CCJ in its appellate jurisdiction. I tried in 2009 and failed. Maybe I will try again.
To end the news, the headlines again. Dominicans told to accommodate their less fortunate neighbors as Hurricane Beryl heads our way. No breakthrough yet as police search for two suspects in a deadly shooting on Wednesday. And Venezuela reassures Dominica that its Miracle Eye Care program will soon get back on track. Feel free to contact us at news@marpin2k4.com. You can also access our past newscasts on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the entire production team, I am Andrea Lee, and to all of our viewers around the world, thank you so much for watching. Have a safe weekend.